Welcome to Wall Street Confidential on TheStreet.com TV. I'm Farnoosh Torabi here with Jim Cramer discussing Sears. Now, Jim, the latest headline out of Sears is that Elwyn Lewis is being ousted. Right. But you have a big gripe with how the media is portraying Eddie Lampert, the chairman of the board, as making all these mistakes, really blaming him for where Sears is currently.
Right. Look, first, just full disclosure, I'm friends with Eddie.
Sure.
But there are just a number of lies that continue to be told about Eddie. He doesn't manage the stores day to day. He's more of a guy who sits on the top. He has not enriched himself by buying back stock. He has shrunk the float. Elwyn Lewis has done a poor job, so I mean, he should be the guy who has been pilloried. He hasn't. He's never had a single negative word about him. And there's a lot of other retailers that are doing quite badly out there. So, I mean, Macy's, Home Depot, they all bought stock much higher, and they've all looked terrible and doing badly, but only Lampert is picked on.
Why do you think that he's being pinpointed? I mean, you're talking about how this is a retail trend right now. Overall, there are a lot of names that aren't doing well.
Right.
But why stick to Eddie Lampert?
I think he's a fascinating figure to people. He's allegedly secretive. Remember, he was kidnapped. He's a guy who is perceived as being stumbling, and people like to tear guys down who are big, like when Trump was stumbling. And I think that Lampert doesn't give them what they want. He spends all his time trying to do well for ESL investments, not speaking to reporters. And I think that has created tremendous ill will. There's also a couple of guys, Bert Flickinger and Davidowitz, who are constantly carping on everything he does. Now, I question, what would happen if he had put all the money in the stores? Who says that it would necessarily work? Right now, it's just such a tough time for retail. Lowe's has put a lot of money in stores, and their stock's been crushed. Home Depot has tried to put money in stores and buyback and has levered up the balance sheet. Sears' balance sheet's pristine. They've shrunk the float a huge amount. If things start going right, Lampert will do very well, and people who own it will do very well. And it is rather amazing to me that he is such a focal point, given the fact that everybody in retail is so screwed up.
If you want to get into Sears right now, if you don't own the stock and you're considering adding it to your portfolio, how do you do it?
Well, I mean, when the stock was up 9, I let some go. It was up 9 in a single day. Anytime you can get up 9 in this market, you got to sell it. Anything you can get down 4 or 5, you probably want to buy it if the stock's down in anticipation. I would tell you that Sears went to 88, 89, and if it goes back to below that, I think you make a move.
All right. Thanks very much, Jim. Anything else you want to say about your friend, Eddie?
Well, it's just, don't forget, I mean, now they're saying that his partners are upset. Well, his partners aren't upset at all. I know all of his partners really well. They would rather give him more money. His record over the long term is fabulous. His record in Kmart's up 10 times since he bought it.
Right.
Okay, so it's not up 18 times anymore. But no one's complaining. His returns have been 1,000 basis points better than the S&P. But the articles are just making it sound like the people are going to pull out. I don't think anyone's going to pull out.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Jim Cramer, on Sears and Eddie Lampert. This is Wall Street Confidential on TheStreet.com TV. Don't go away.